Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the cone stitch Afghan square. This is week 3 of the 2025 Make It Your Way Crochet Along. So for this crochet along we are working through a stitch sampler blanket. And each week you'll have the option between 2 squares, so this is one of those options. The cone stitch Afghan square is fairly easy, straightforward to work, and it's has this beautiful sort of lined texture to it. It's similar on the back and the front, not quite the same, but quite close. It has a great thickness to it as well. Today for the tutorial I'm going to be using some Lion Brand yarn. This is the Pound of Love yarn by Lion Brand. There's about 1,000 yards per ball. For this square, you're only going to need about 160 yards per square, or 640 yards total. I'll be working in this pumpkin color. You're also going to need a 5mm or an H8 crochet hook and a copy of the free written instructions, which can be found on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. So thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time hearing about this crochet along, do check down in the description where you'll find the free pattern, the link to the free pattern for this square, as well as a link to the introductory post for the crochet along, so you can get all the details there. Let's grab our hooks and yarn and get started. Now our square today is worked in rows. My finished square is going to measure approximately 12 by 12 inches. You're going to start by making a slip knot, and then you're going to work a foundation chain of 36 chains. Now if you wish to change the size of your square, you may use any number of stitches for this foundation chain. Today I'm going to go ahead and chain 36. There's 20. 30. And 36. Once you have worked your foundation chain, you're going to begin row 1 by working a single crochet into the second chain from your hook. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so single crochet into that second chain and then single crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of this row, you're going to have a total of 35 stitches. Single crochet in each stitch across. At the end of row 1, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. You have 35 single crochet stitches. For row 2, we will want to work one more row of single crochet stitches to get us set up. So work a single crochet into the first stitch at the base of your turning chain, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way across. Once you come all the way across, at the end of row 2, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 3, we're going to begin working some of our cone stitches, which is giving you that texture that runs across your Afghan square. So what we're going to do for row 3 is we're going to single crochet into our first stitch. You're then going to work a cone stitch in each stitch all the way across until one stitch remains. To work the cone stitch, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and draw up a loop. Yarn over, insert your hook in the space under the same stitch. So if you look at your single crochet here, reach down, insert your hook under that stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop. You will then have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and draw through all 5 loops. That is your cone stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way across. Yarn over, insert your hook into the top of the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook in the space under that same next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 5 loops. Repeat this all the way across until you have 1 stitch remaining. Once you come all the way across at the end of row 3, you're going to finish off the row by working 1 single crochet into the final stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 4, simply single crochet into that first stitch, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of row 4, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for the repeat in your square, that is it. For rows 5 through to 46, you're going to repeat rows 2, 3, and 4. So row 2 beginning with your single crochets all the way across, then row 3, which was your cone stitch row, and row 4 was 1 more row of single crochet. So repeat rows 2, 3, and 4 for a total of 14 more times. That will bring you to the end of row 46, and you should have a square piece of fabric. If you need to work more or less rows, certainly do that to get the square the length that you desire. You can then meet me back here at the end of row 46. At the end of your row 46, this is what your work is going to look like from the beginning. You'll have finished off on a row of single crochet stitches. We're now going to work a simple edging, and this edging I just find makes it a little bit easier to join these squares together. It's certainly optional, but I'm going to work it here on my blanket today. You're going to start your edging by chaining 1 and turning your work. You're then going to begin your edging, and I've worked it the same on each Afghan square in this blanket. You're going to begin by working 3 single crochet stitches into this first corner stitch. This is going to create the final stitch on your final rough side, your corner stitch, and then the first stitch on this top side. You're then going to work 36 more single crochet stitches all the way across. Now you will remember we started off with 35 single crochet stitches, so it does mean at some point as you work across your square, if you've worked the same number of stitches I have, you're going to work 2 single crochet stitches into 1 stitch. You'll just want to make sure that you have the same number of stitches across each side, and on mine, not including that single corner crochet stitch, I have 37 stitches across each side. So you're going to work a total of 36 more, and then including those 3 you started, the one on the top is your 37. You're going to make sure you have that number all the way across until you come to your next corner stitch. I've now worked my single crochet stitches all the way across, and I've finished off at my final corner stitch. You're going to then work 1 more single crochet just in the corner. You're then going to turn your work so that you're working along this rough edge, and beginning in that same stitch, work a total of 37 more single crochets all along this rough edge. So starting in that same corner, there's one, and you're just going to work these stitches evenly as you go across. Now, I should have mentioned before, you can change the number of stitches that you are working along your edges. Just make sure that you are taking note of it, because you will want, if you're working this crochet along, you will want each of the squares to have the same number of stitches around them. You're going to continue all the way across in your next corner, work one more single crochet, then work 37 single crochets across the bottom, one in the corner, and 36 all the way up to our final edge where you're going to join with the slip stitch. If you need a reminder, you'll find the free written instructions on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. It's linked down in the description of this video, and do be sure to check it out if you'd like to see the written instructions in front of you. I'm going to go ahead and work my single crochet round all the way around my square and meet you back when I come to that first stitch. When you come all the way around, you're going to have a total of 152 single crochet stitches all the way around your square. You're going to then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch and go ahead and fasten off. You can then tuck in your ends. If you are working the Make It Your Way Crochet Along, you will want to make 4 of these squares in total, and set them aside until you're ready to join them together. So thank you so much for joining me as we have learned how to work this cone stitch Afghan square, and don't forget to subscribe and make sure you're receiving the notifications for the squares that are still yet to come. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.